Another big monster returns.
Experimental Unit Clone Force 99. The defective clones with desirable mutations. They call themselves the Bad Batch.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 5, The Return.
The return of another swamp monster.
Giant monster. And I'm kind of like Wrecker.
Dune monster.
I'm like, another monster? Like, why is there always a monster?
I feel like they did that on purpose.
Hopefully this is the last. Well, it's not going to be the last because all the monsters
no.
on Tantus that they're cloning. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. But before we jump into today's episode, we should remind our listeners, if you haven't seen already, that we did an Avatar Season 1 review that we have only on YouTube. So I know some of you get mad at us because we put YouTube exclusive, but we want people to go to our YouTube channel. But yes, so we had a lot of fun recording that. So if you watched Avatar, the live action adaptation that Netflix did, go check it out. Give us your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you because it was a good, strong start. And they just announced today that seasons 2 and 3 have been renewed for that. So
yes,
get
I was gonna
excited,
say, yeah.
get hyped. It'll probably be like 2 years away before we get the next installment or whatever. But
I wonder though, now that they announced, like now that they signed for 2 and 3, like maybe they'll do them back to back, so they don't age that much. That's what they should do. Didn't they do that for one of the seasons of Stranger Things?
No.
Why did I think they did that?
I don't know. Because definitely every season they get way more older than they age in the show. So like they're supposed to be like middle school age, and now they're all like 20 years old. So
and like engaged and stuff.
So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, go watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, bonus episode. How mad can you guys get about that? Like, it's not that we just did one on YouTube and like the last bonus or the last YouTube exclusive didn't we not do a podcast in the normal week? We just did a YouTube exclusive.
No, we had never done that.
Oh, well, I lied. Okay. Anyways, bonus episode. Can't get mad about that. Go watch the show, watch our reaction to it. And you'll find out if we liked it or not.
Yeah. All right, cool. And also, before we get started, we had a Q&A on Spotify from last week that I did. So my question was, how many episodes will it take for Hunter and Wrecker to fully accept Crosshair back into the team? Jacob with a K says 2 or 3. Easton says 3. Addie says, hopefully not many. I hate seeing my fictional older brothers fight. Crying face, sad face, sweat, frowny face. I don't know my emojis.
Voicemails.
yeah, Addie, what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing, Addie? Come on, send in.
I thought we would get you one every week from
you.
But if you're busy, we get it. And Jonathan says, fully accepted ? I'm going to say the finale.
Ooh.
But based on this episode,
it took one episode.
There'll probably be a little bit of tension, maybe a little bit, but it's 99%.
I don't know. Once Wrecker grabbed them both and hugged them, bear hugged them together. I think it's a done deal.
Yep. So,
and like I'm not mad at the way they did it though, so that helps.
Right. But yeah, so now that we got all that stuff out of the way, we might as well just jump into our overall thoughts of this episode. So, Drew, what do you think of today's episode? This is a podcast. You're supposed to say something. Don't gesture.
Hand gestures, like, it was okay. It was. This might be a quick episode, to say the least.
Really?
I don't know. Oh, like, we didn't gain really any knowledge.
But it wasn't about that, though. It was about the mending of broken relationships.
Sure. And we got that. But I feel like I wanted more. like I would have preferred them like actually get more knowledge of what they're doing, and it take them 3 episodes to trust Crosshair instead of 1 episode, barely any information, and a monster that they didn't even kill. Like, I don't know. It was a struggle for. This is the weakest episode so far this season, for sure, for me.
Dang, bro.
Yeah. It was just like, okay. Like, it's not, for sure not the speeder. I think what would have like made this episode really good is if like somehow they like went and showed like a jail thing, and like Tech was like in there.
So you want like an end scene to give us something new?
Because like we didn't get anything besides like that thing had some like medical things in it, you know.
But that wasn't the point of the episode. The point of the episode was
to mend their mend their relationship. But we could have got that. I'm saying we could have got that in a different way. We could have got that why we actually learned something about the show, like the story too.
But then the story would be split between 2 things, and it would be less meaningful.
I don't think so. I don't think the story would have meant any different, except made it more intense if this was the exact same thing, except they were able to find information on what they were doing.
But then that would be like a really easy like solution then. Like, we just found it like that. Like, it wasn't.
No, not that they found Tantus, but like more than just like medical data.
Well, I think that
like maybe think later. Yeah, they're gonna probably
datapad.
Open it up, but like I don't know. Like, it wasn't anything that I didn't know that was gonna happen. I don't know. I just wanted something new. I wanted something different. I'm kind of being a little nitpicky at this point. Like, I don't know. I wasn't satisfied in any of it. Like, even like the art, like the art was pretty, but nothing like stood out to me in this episode. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weak.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
Being a hater, dude.
To say that it wasn't the race scene in last season or anything. I'm not saying it's a filler episode. I just feel like nothing about it like blew me away. Nothing. I wasn't like on my edge of my seat at all. If anything, I was trying to stay awake. I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Dang, did you fall asleep at the end? Is that why?
I should have, but I didn't. No, I didn't. I was just
didn't think you would hate it this much. Like, that's kind of. I really liked it because like the tension between Crosshair and Hunter was great. Like the whole episode, Hunter's watching Crosshair because he doesn't trust him, and like how like when they get into the facility and Crosshair goes to and sees those helmets. And he like
that
sets
part
them
was.
up.
I kind of want
like you see the background of Hunter walked into the back room and watched him do it. Like that was really cool.
That scene was really cool.
Showing him walk in, and then
I did like that because isn't that the planet where that scene happened where he killed the general?
That's the return. They return. Yeah. He returned to the planet, to Snow Planet, and so like
that part was cool. I kind of wish I would have got more of that.
Of just more stacking of helmets.
No, I kind of wish like because like if he like explained it a little bit, like maybe like they set up like the helmets outside, like on rifles or something, like a little like a memorial thing.
I don't know. I think I wouldn't like that because it needs to be subtle because that's what Crosshair is. He's not a guy that's like super emotional and like expressive with his thoughts and feelings, and like to have these subtle things that he does, these little
True.
things, like
It's more his
it
style.
it's more his thing. But it's also like when you are like that and then you do something little, it like is very loud in a sense. Like it's
Correct.
very
I I
noticeable.
I did really like that part. I thought that part was pretty good and pretty intense.
So like I like that, and I really liked the argument that they had where Crosshair basically called Hunter out on his failure, and then it was his fault that Omega got taken, and he's like, I warned you guys, but you didn't care what I had to say, blah blah
Mhm.
blah. It's your failure, not mine. And then you're just mad that I helped her escape, and it wasn't you that saved her because you wanted to get all the trophy for being the best brother ever, type of thing. And I don't know, I really
I yeah.
like that, and um, like Crosshair, like just doing what he had to do the mission, and like he had no problem trying to save Hunter, but Hunter was like the whole time was the one that was in fault the whole episode. Like I get it, like he shouldn't have to trust Crosshair, but like he was just kind of a jerk the whole time, the Crosshair. And like Wrecker, he was like, hey, if Omega trusts him, I trust him. Like I don't care. Like that's his Wrecker's
Yeah.
character. Like he's just a kid at, well, they're all kids because they're all like 13 years old. But like,
But he is a kid at heart though. He is very much like yeah. It wasn't out of the ordinary for him to already like be okay with it.
so
The thing about this episode that intrigues me the most is what's wrong with him.
wrong with, oh, his hand.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how that develops because he was like only like 53% or whatever, which is
Yeah,
very under
I think that might
average.
be the Q&A for this episode.
Like, how did his hand become
Like,
like
is his
that?
hand gonna get better? Is it gonna get, or is it gonna get worse?
Yeah. Like that part is intriguing because I just want to know how. Like, was it part like of like the torture stuff that he was receiving? Is it like broken? Like, or is he getting old? Like, or is it was it experiments? Like, I'm really
I don't know. It could
interested to
be
see.
like a million single-eyed things, or it could just be multiple things, like the torture. It could also just be like his stress. You know,
Hmm.
stress can have major health cause major health problems in a person's body and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I think there's a
I'm
lot of things, but I think it was mainly just the like experiments that he had to go through.
yeah. I'm really interested to see how they like tell us more about that because I think it's going to become an issue throughout the. Because I almost feel like it was even worse than when he escaped. Because like when they were fighting that monster, he didn't even hit it once.
He didn't even
Like,
throw it once.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's true. He hit it once, but you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like he was shooting like a normal
Plus,
stormtrooper.
I also think that that monster bullets weren't going to do much because it's like going through ice.
Oh yeah, for
Like what is
sure.
a little blaster going to do to that? But yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, saw that Echo was in this episode. I was like, oh, we have our bet. And I was like, how many doors is he going to open? He didn't even open one
I know.
door.
I was so pissed. I was like, I was on the edge of my seat just counting doors, and he didn't open anything. He
I
even
was
like
like,
showed his hand and everything. Like,
I was
I was
getting
like,
ready to count, and he didn't even do it once.
do you
So,
remember what the odds were on that?
well, I think
Like,
you said at least 7. That's what you
okay,
said.
yes,
So I think we
and
were
you
going because, like I said, I probably 7, but no more than 10. But our bet was based off of your 7. So,
gotcha.
like,
Yeah,
if it's less than 7, then you have to pay for the movie. If it's over 7 or more, then I have to pay.
Watch, that's the only time we see him in the entire show.
Maybe.
That would
But-
suck. No doors are ever gonna
or
open.
it's like the finale and like he has to like open like 100 doors.
Where did this? Why have we not seen this droid more? Am I missing something?
What droid?
That droid that was like holding the fruit for.
AZ?
Yeah.
Well, they were. It was from the finale of season 1 because it was on Camino.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But we didn't see it much of last season.
I can't remember. I guess not.
I don't think we saw him that much. Because like that was like one thing that I remember season 1, like they didn't really have a
Well,
droid.
because wasn't he hanging out at Sid's bar a little bit
remember.
for a
I think
while?
so. Yes, I
And then
think
like
so.
he didn't go on missions with him. He just stayed at the bar, I think.
He doesn't go on missions because he wasn't at this one either.
So I think that's what it was. He was like at the bar
Mm.
for the whole season or most of the season.
Because that's like one thing about the Bad Batch. Like they don't really have a droid; they have a Gonk droid.
Hey, Gonk for the win. Gonk is
Uh,
a beast. He saved them multiple times. So,
sure. I'm not saying he has it. Just saying.
but yes, we basically just talked about the whole episode, but we might as well go through a little bit
All right,
more.
bye guys.
More detail. But episode starts out and Omega wakes up from a deep slumber. Probably the best. She said it was like the best she slept in a long time, which
I mean, even looking at her, you're like, oh, you felt like you knew she was comfortable. She was happy. She was hugging that poor teddy bear. That teddy bear that finally got to breathe when she let it go.
Yep. And so she wakes up and gets down out of her cubby hole thing, and Hunter and Wrecker are there, but Crosshair's not. And they're like, well, Crosshair left before we woke up. We don't know where he went, blah, blah, blah. But they're all like also like eating fruit, like fresh fruit for breakfast. So Shep and Lena, something like that. They were name dropped because they're from last season, and so Omega gets out of the ship, and where are they at? They're on Pabu, the planet,
Mhm.
Pabu, the island thing, and it looks a lot different. Like it was like all vegetation, all. So I guess that tsunami from last season
Helped
brought
it out.
new life. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah.
it looked different.
I was kind of also bummed that we didn't see the twins, the other clones. Or not twins. I guess there's like 3 of them. The 3 twins.
Oh,
Younger.
the kids the teenagers that we saw. Yeah, that's not weird that we didn't.
We'll see them though. But like, I just want to see Omega play with someone like her age, you know?
Yep, we got to see that a little bit with Hera, which was cool. I wish we got. So I guess that answers our question. Well, I guess it doesn't answer our question, but we were wondering if last episode that moon was that Ryloth moon. I guess I never went back and looked, but I guess we're not going to see Hera again if it was Ryloth.
Oh, you never know.
Because it has to be like they recruit Cham Sandula for something, but he's too busy fighting for Ryloth, so probably not going to see him. But yes, so Omega leaves the ship to go looking for Crosshair, and he's down on the rocky beach, and AZ is there holding fruit over the ocean, and Crosshair's trying to shoot it. I'm like, dude, this guy can't shoot, and he's gonna like accidentally shoot AZ.
I know the whole time, like that poor droid's about to go.
So
because AZ's arms aren't that long. That boy is like almost pretty much holding it like an apple over your head kind of scenario. Like it wasn't that he was holding it that far off his body.
Right. And so Omega goes down to Crosshair and says, hey, your hand's messed up. You should have AZ look at it because AZ is like a medical droid. And he's like, no, I'll be fine, which is stupid. Like AC probably could just fix whatever the problem is, like right there. But
It's
whatever.
like old, like your parents. Oh, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the doctor. As they're limping.
Yep. And she's like, well, you got to go talk to Hunter. Like, you guys need to talk things through, blah, blah, blah. But he's not really interested. And I like that Omega asked Crosshair about using a sniper because, you know, she was trained by the other members of Bad Batch with their, like, skills, but she never got to train with Crosshair. So maybe we'll get to see Omega shoot a rifle. Maybe his hand will get so bad, like at a point where
he slides it over to her and she hits
she
it
has to
this
like save
epic
the day.
shot.
That'd be cool.
We'll probably see that.
But he says like the two things that are necessary to be a good sniper is to have patience and to be able to read the environment and like be aware of your surroundings. So maybe we'll see that play out this season, so we could keep an eye out for those two themes in Omega, see if she has to learn those two lessons. And so
And when he said that,
yeah, so Hunter and Wrecker are on the red ridge looking, spying on him basically. But Wrecker's like, yeah, if Omega trusts him, then I trust him. And Hunter was like, whatever. And then that's when a ship flies by, and it's Echo. He's back. No Rex.
I know.
Which is kind of like
lame.
It's the same voice actor. Like, you know, it's not like scheduling issues where like you can only get a certain guy on a time, but whatever.
Yeah, he was too busy. They couldn't draw him up quick.
Yep. So he comes because, you know, Omega and Crosshair have information about Tantus and where they were at. So he comes and they kind of do a little like debrief on what they know. And Omega is just basically, I didn't have a lot of access, but I had some access. They're doing experiments, blah, blah, blah. Like they learned about Emery, like a clone, just like me, a sister of ours. And they kind of had a look like Echo had a little like, oh, a little shock on his face, but he just kept going. And Omega said, well, I got an LSA's data pad thing still. But it's all like locked up because I guess you have to be connected to the Wi-Fi, the Imperial Wi-Fi or something to have it work. So,
and it kind of makes sense because they knew that that's how she escaped. So it makes sense why they would have shut it down.
Right. Well, also it's probably just that, or like if it's not in range of the Imperial signal or whatever, like or if it's like too far away from Mount Tantus, it turns off automatically because they want to keep it a secret. So they don't want it like easily accessible. But
because it's not that they don't know where to go, right?
Well, they don't know where the planet is. They know they know it's in a certain sector, but there's probably like 50
but
sectors.
Doesn't Crosshair and Echo or Omega know where to go because they escaped from there?
No.
Weird.
I think they just put in some. I don't think there's a history on that you can go to like in the nav system. I don't know. I guess I didn't really think about it, but like I think the ship they're just trying to get out of there so fast that they didn't like.
I thought it was more or less like they want more information on the base and like how many people are there and stuff like that. I didn't think it wasn't that they didn't know how to get there.
No, because even at the end of the episode, Echo's like, we're still going to be searching for it. Like, we don't know.
Interesting. I didn't.
Which I guess you bring up a good point about that. I didn't realize that, but I just never.
Because they escaped from there. Can't they just remember how they escaped and what like route they took?
I don't know. I guess that's just not how hyperdrive works. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Me questioning now is making Jeremiah question this entire plot.
Well, I just never thought about like, does hyperspace have a backlog? Like, can you go reverse in a thing. Like we don't know a lot about how hyperspace works. Like I don't know
It's
if
the
it's
GPS. You just push it backwards, right?
right, but I'm not
I don't
sure
know.
if hyperspace is like I've heard conflicting things about like how it's just like going fast through space, but also it's like also like not going through space. Like you're going into a different dimension to like I don't know. There's not a lot of I think I don't know. So like I
But
guess
isn't all like? Can't they just take the same route? Because aren't
but
they all like? I don't know.
I
I don't
don't
know.
think it's that easy. But
I just
plus
thought the whole thing was like they were just trying to find more information on the base and like what's the best way to do it. Not that they couldn't find it.
no, because Echo was saying they're still trying to find it.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm guessing because it's supposed to be a secret base, maybe that ship, because from going to and from that planet, it's disabled to like record.
Well, and they ditched it too.
Right, but I'm saying like they couldn't take data off it
Mm.
because maybe they have that in there where it doesn't record a
Mm-hmm.
history because they don't want anyone finding it, the planet. That could be. They could have mentioned that, but they didn't. But dude, what's wrong with your arm, dude? You getting a
I
little
don't know. It's like stiff.
need
I'm
AZ
getting a
to
little,
look at it?
little crosshairy.
Oh,
Say that 4 times.
you're trying to go hunting
I
more and
don't know.
more.
It feels a
I don't know if you're
little.
gonna be able to do that anymore.
Anyway,
But
it's like a
anyway,
sleep or something.
anyway,
My left arm.
during this debrief and looking at Nalisay's data pad, Crosshair was like, "I know how to get connected. We got connected to a Imperial terminal, which it was nice that he's willing to help, that he cares, and or I guess it shows that he cares, that he's willing to help." Um, and he's like, "Well, I know a place that we could go to where there's not going to be a lot of people. There's kind of a hidden secret base. Not a lot of people there." And I didn't even think about like the snow planet at first. Like I didn't
Me
even
either.
think until we got there. I was like, "Oh, this is a place." But um, Hunter did not want the whole team to go. He wanted Omega and Wrecker to stay back because like we just got you back. We don't want to like put you in
Harm's
danger of
way.
going to another Imperial facility with you. Like if we lose you again, that's even worse. Like we'll for sure not get you back. Blah blah blah. But Omega basically has her puppy eyes and says, "Can I come?" And Hunter's like, "Fine," type of thing. So next scene, they're kind of loading up, getting supplies for the mission. They're using Echo ship, which is a cool ship. Um, and Crosshair and Hunter, they walk past each other on the ramp, and of course, there's a little tension. Blah blah blah. And we had a little. I like this little moment between Omega and Crosshair because Crosshair says you're still just a kid, like you shouldn't be going on this mission. And she's like, "What do you mean? I'm older than you, little brother." And this is the first time we got Crosshair to like laugh / smile,
Mm-hmm.
which I really appreciated. That Omega is such a great character that she can make Crosshair chuckle a little bit,
Yeah.
and so I like that a lot. And it just shows that Crosshair is growing as a person and coming out of his shell a little bit, and I like that. And so that happened, and then Wrecker comes out with a case and it's like, "Hey, hopefully it still fits. I didn't think it was right to get rid of it, and it's basically his old armor, which, and again, I didn't look back at before, but I don't recognize that armor with that like thing coming out of its shoulder. Do you remember
That's
that?
I was gonna ask you. I don't remember that spike thing.
Like I don't remember
And
that at all, and didn't even go and look back at like
well, it's on the toy.
it's on the toy, really?
Yeah. Let me grab it.
Yeah, grab it because like I didn't remember that at all. And it's like I would have to go back to like Clone Wars season 7 Bad Batch to see if it's there, and then we have to go to like season 1 of Bad. Oh dang,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's there, which I don't remember it either.
I don't remember
I
that
was
either.
literally gonna ask you about that,
That's interesting.
but it is there. It grew overnight when this episode came out.
Wouldn't that be crazy if like they could just like change toys, like when they like retcon something about a character, like they can change a
That'd
toy
be so
remotely?
cool. You know how many more toys would be sold if that was a thing?
It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so he puts on the armor like when they get to the other planet. So we're jumping the gun a little bit, but it was worth mentioning right away because I was wondering if you noticed that or not. But yeah, so they arrive at this planet, the snow planet from season 2 that where Crosshair was sent, and had like his big paradigm shift of where he saw how terrible the Empire was and how rude they were to clones, and he killed like a Imperial officer named Nolan. And I'll always remember that name because my friend Nolan at church, I was like, remember what?
They killed you.
I was like, hey, you made your your Star Wars debut today in the Bad Batch episode. And when he watched it, he's like, I can't believe I'm that terrible of a human being. Like my character is like the worst Empire guy. But yeah, so they land. Batcher runs out into the snow and slides. I thought that was a cool. I like having Batcher with the team,
Batcher
especially
is
when
like,
he did some work, like to help
yeah,
them do the mission.
she like did a lot of work actually. I feel like.
Oh yeah, she. Did I call him he again?
Yep.
Her. He. Gosh, I'm never gonna get that right. But yeah, so they get to this base and it's completely abandoned. No one's there anymore, which is I guess good for them, just because it makes the mission easier. It's all covered in the snow, and Batcher kind of runs off in the distance and kind of like starts like freaking out a little bit, and they realize like there's the perimeter sensor beacon things that were probably like messing with Batcher a little bit, and he was kind of or she was, getting like disturbed by it, whatever it does. So I was like, okay, and Crosshair is like, those beacons are there to like keep out, raiders from attacking. But we don't have to worry about them anymore. And Hunter's like, why? Because I took care of them. Like
He killed them all.
I killed them all. So there's this tension that like Crosshair didn't reveal all the information to Hunter. Like, why didn't you tell us there were raiders? Why didn't you tell us this place was abandoned? There's something else going on here you're not telling us about. But whatever. They go to the front door and it's all covered in snow, and Hunter and Wrecker start digging by hand. And then Batcher like, hey, I got this. And she just goes down there and just like does it in like 5 seconds. And I was like, good girl.
She was more useful in this episode than
Echo.
She opened the door.
She opened the door and she didn't even need a little like arm thing. But they get in and they go to the little like computer control panel thing, and they realize that all the power in the facility has been directed to the perimeter beacons, and it's drained basically all the energy, so they can't use any power inside the building to do anything. And it's like, well, we got to reroute the power, blah blah blah, and then we can use this terminal to connect with the data pad. And so clearly, doing that was going to like cause issues. Like we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're working on that, and then Crosshair he walks off into the room, in different parts of the room, starts looking around, and he sees all the helmets of the clone troopers that were there, that were last there. And so like the main one that we see on front was I think his name was Mayday. Was the name of the guy that he went on the mission with that ended up dying in his arms, basically. And so like he didn't like that there was this throne in a corner, basically. So he started picking them up, the helmets, and kind of laying them straight on and nice on the boxes, just to like give them some respect. And while he's doing this, Hunter, goes after to see what he's doing, and he sits and stands and watches him do that. So I really like that scene. It was really cool. We mentioned that earlier. What else? So they turn off the sensors and reroute power, and immediately you hear rumbling. And the thing that made me mad this whole time after they turn it off, like there's constant rumbling, and no one wanted to notice it.
For real, because you kind of knew it like right away that it was gonna do something.
Right, and even like when Crosshair and Hunter were out there, like walking out there, like the rumbling happened out there, and they didn't even notice it.
Because they're too busy arguing,
which makes sense. But like, I was like, "Come on, guys, pay
Wake
attention!"
up!
Type of thing.
There's another monster.
Yeah. So, but like, once the sensors are rerouted, the power and stuff, they realize that. Let's see. So that happens, but Crosshair and Hunter, they leave the facility to like keep a watch, make sure the perimeter is safe, and then Echo and Omega, they're working on getting the data taken off the data pad and trying to learn anything. Let's see. And this is where we have the intense scene of Hunter and Crosshair having a talk. And like we said earlier, they're arguing, getting mad, and Hunter's getting all mad at Crosshair, and Crosshair's like, I've had enough. Like, you failed to protect Omega. You didn't care about my intel and my information to warn you, and it's your fault. And then they're about to fight, and then the rumble was big enough where they actually heard what was going on. And a giant I might jump in. No, I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Let me see. I'm going over my notes. Crosshair confesses that his change of heart basically was when he killed an Imperial officer who betrayed him and the clones. And so that was a thing. Like Hunter, like wasn't expecting that, because he just thought that, oh, you just abandoned the Empire like you abandoned us, like blah blah blah, like that's just who you are. But Crosshair was like, no, I had a reason, because they
abandoned me.
They abandoned me, and then I killed an officer that he didn't mention that he basically killed Mayday, but he's like, basically I killed him because he betrayed me. And then this is when the giant worm thing, ice worm,
the dune worm.
And the thing is, it was kind of funny because when you read it with the subtitles, worm is not spelled WORM; it's spelled WYRM.
I didn't even notice that, but yeah.
So like, I guess there's no worms, WORM, in Star Wars. I guess they're spelled with a Y. So I don't know. I thought this worm kind of had a similar. Have you seen the movie Tremors, like from the '90s? Like the mouth, like beak area, kind of look similar to the Tremors graboids, as they're called. If you haven't seen Tremors, folks, you should go watch it. I think, is it rated? Probably PG-13, I'm guessing.
I have no idea.
It's this cool monster movie from the '90s with Kevin Bacon. Reba McEntire's in it.
Reba's in it?
She's, remember, like the couple with all the guns?
Yeah.
Like, she's the wife. And
what the heck?
That scene when it goes through the wall and they have all those guns there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fun.
Gosh, I don't remember much about that movie at all.
And then they made like 15 more after that weren't as good. But yes, so giant worm. that was being held out by these beacons. When I guess Crosshair didn't know that, he just thought it was the Raiders. So I guess it was not like he like held any information, but
he didn't know anything more than anyone else did.
Yeah, so they get back inside. They like
Which
race
makes
back.
sense why they escaped. Like why it was abandoned. Because they
Right.
couldn't really go past that point.
Yeah, and I think it was just kind of like a holding spot for supplies because that's what it was. There was a bunch of supplies there that the clones were just keeping safe until the Empire went and retrieved them. And so it makes sense. Like there's nothing really there for the Empire to use anyway. Which would be interesting. Like since the Empire left, like they could just go there for like another base. Like I don't know if we ever got like a planet name for it originally.
It kind of felt like Hothy.
It'd be cool if it was Hoth, but I don't
know.
think it would be. I don't know. But yeah, so Crosshair and Hunter, they run and they're able to get inside, and they're like, well, we're screwed because we can't turn the beacons back on because then it's going to be trapped inside the perimeter. So we have to like lure it past the things and then turn the power back on. But they were like, well, we don't got enough power to do that anymore. Like, so we have to like turn on like backup power, blah blah blah. But that's in another building.
Of course,
and so they had to like come up with like a plan where Crosshair and Hunter were gonna like try and like lead the monster away. Wrecker was gonna go to the other building. Echo was gonna be in the watchtower to like watch for the monster, and then Omega was gonna be inside, ready to like reroute the power once Wrecker turns the new power on. I'm like, cool. This is like classic Bad Batch. Like they all have their roles.
Yeah.
They come up with a plan right away, and they go to execute it. And I thought that was getting the band back together type of thing, in my opinion. And then it was kind of straightforward after that, where they all just do their assigned tasks. And so Hunter, he ends up falling through the ice at one point into the cavern below where the worm was. And they're like, well, I'm going to head north through this tunnel, and then you guys just meet me there, and hopefully I can get out that way. And so Crosshair and Batcher are running on the surface while Hunter's underground. Wrecker, he turns the power on. And I was watching a reaction channel watch this episode today, and they said that Wrecker's role was like a copycat scene from the original Jurassic Park when they have to turn the power on, and they're like, yeah, pump it 3 times. And
yeah,
I was like, oh, I guess
I just thought about that. Yeah, that's funny.
I wish there was a scene where one of them said, "Hold on to your butts." Like that would have been a cherry on top.
Or there's a bad guy there and he was going to the bathroom.
Yep, and then the monster came and ate him. If you haven't seen the original Jurassic Park,
dude, you are missing out.
That's a classic. Like still that 1993, that T-Rex showing up in the rain,
the best scene.
Like you can't do CGI better than that now. Like
no,
that's like probably one of the best CGI moments in all movie history.
Yeah,
because like they couldn't
even when they're driving the Jeep and it's chasing them and stuff, and the rear mirror stuff. Like
yeah.
Now I want to go watch Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, that's a good movie. That was like the only like really good Jurassic Park movie.
I don't know. Number 2 is pretty good.
They're okay. It's just you just lose
Number
the charm.
Number 3 is pretty good too. Like yeah, it's just not as. Number 1 was for sure the best one. And I honestly I watched the first Jurassic World, but I don't think I've ever watched the second one or the third one.
I've watched all of them. And
the first one's still the best,
I guess. The second one is sad because that's like when the volcano erupts, and all the dinosaurs are on the planet, or on
the island,
on the island, and everyone's escaping. And then like at the like they get off the boats, get off or whatever, but then there's like a brontosaurus, long necks, like on the beach, standing there, can't run any further, and then like the lava's coming behind it, and it's kind of sad. And the third one was terrible.
I like the third one. Actually, I think that's the one growing up that I watched
No,
the
I mean
most.
the third Jurassic World.
Oh, World.
Yeah,
Wait, so are you talking about Jurassic World or
Jurassic
Jurassic
World.
Park? Oh, see, I haven't even seen the second one.
That's the second one when the island blows up.
I've never even seen that.
And
Spoilers.
then the third one is even worse. Like it's weird. Like it doesn't
I
even
heard it
feel
wasn't
like
good.
it doesn't even feel like a dinosaur movie. It's just like
just drama.
Like they made these locusts that are taking over the world and like eating all the crops, and then they have to like figure out how to stop it from. I don't
You
know.
know, like they're like really like I think this year. Is it this year? Yeah, I think this year. Maybe they got delayed, but this year they were supposed to like release like a or give birth to the first what's it called?
Woolly mammoth.
Yeah. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about that. I know they've been trying to figure out how to clone.
Yeah,
woolly
like
mammoths.
they literally were supposed to like have the first one this year.
Because I know elephants, it's like a year and a half gestation period.
Mm-hmm.
So
well,
it's a
and
long
like
process.
apparently woolly mammoths are more closely related to the Indian elephant,
right,
than the African elephant, because the Indian elephant has like hair.
Right.
So that's what they were like. Like there was one that was pregnant with the woolly mammoth, essentially.
Interesting.
Is interesting. And then like there's this place in Alaska, and like you can look it up on our Instagram. It's called the Bone Rush, and this guy like has this like giant ice. I forget the term. This is like a block of ice, essentially, like runoff that's frozen, and he's slowly like breaking it down, and it's like a mile long, and it has like a bunch of like woolly mammoth bones and a bunch of different like ice age animals in it, all in one pile, essentially. It's really interesting, and like he just like literally digged up a whole frozen woolly mammoth like baby like the other day. I saw it, and like literally he was like, yeah, maybe I've ate woolly mammoth before. I'm not gonna really say that.
People that have done that, like it's a thing. Super expensive. Would you, if you could get a chance?
No way. No.
Why not?
I don't know. Why
You don't
would
like eating frozen meat? Fresh meat
not that I
only?
don't like it. I would feel weird.
Why? This is another animal. It's dead. Like it's not
But
like
it's been dead for a long time.
so. So what's the longest meat can be harvested, and then like you'll like still eat like?
I think it's just weird because it's like extinct. I don't want to eat something that's dead, like that's like not around. I feel like instead of me eating it, I feel like they could use it to make another one. You know?
Well, they don't clone like the leg. Like they take the DNA. Like
Yeah. I don't need
I'd
to eat
try
it.
it.
Of
I'd
course
try
you
it.
would.
If there would be a woolly mammoth like burger or something, I'd try it.
Oh God. Have you had an alligator?
I don't think so.
You should.
I might have in the past. I can't remember.
There used to be this place in Columbia Heights that only served alligator burgers, and they were the best, dude.
I've had a lot of crazy animals in my life, but not. I don't think I've had alligator yet.
It was pretty good. It's like it's a white meat, so it's like chickeny.
Tastes like chicken.
Yeah, it literally does, but then it has like the texture of like beef.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, bad batch.
Bad batch.
Yes. So I thought it was cool how the worm moves, like it's like spun.
Mm-hmm.
You notice that?
Yeah.
how it was like turning kind of like a corkscrew, like in these tunnels, which I thought was cool. And so, it's outside the perimeter, and Crosshair and Batcher on the top, like of the tunnel, like trying to like dig a hole to get Hunter out. So they dig it big enough, and then Crosshair puts his gun down, rifle down, and Hunter holds
Saves
onto it
Hunter,
and
essentially.
pulls it up. And they start running back to get on the other side of the beacon, and then Omega turns it on, and then it stops the worm, and it just stares at him, and then Batcher starts barking at it and then runs away. Batcher thought it was like the coolest dog ever. Like he like scared down this giant worm.
Yeah, for real.
Well, good girl. Like you scared it away. Confidence boost, I guess.
I wonder if Batcher had some Wesley Andrews coffee. That's probably what gave her that additional boost in energy.
And even if you didn't, if it's a cold winter's day, even though it's been a pretty mild winter, if it's a cold winter day,
winter I've ever remembered in my life. But yeah.
And you want a hot beverage to warm up, you're in luck.
Cold.
Or cold. But you're in luck because Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea happens to be our sponsor for today, as well as every other episode. So if you like a hot beverage, like coffee or tea, take a listen to this message.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, cool. So everyone's safe now, and Hunter and Crosshair look at each other while they're sitting on the ground after the worm runs away. Hunter nods at him. Crosshair nods back, and Crosshair starts petting Batcher. I think, oh, okay, nice. They're best friends. They work together. They helped each other out. They're on good terms now, I guess. So at the very end, they're all packing up, ready to go. And Echo's like, well, there wasn't a lot of information on there, but we're getting closer and closer every day to finding this Mount Tantus. But when we do, we'll be in touch, basically. Because all they got really was kind of like the science, medical information. But I feel like Nalase hid information in there.
I think so too.
I think there's going to be an encrypted message in there, or like a pattern to some of the notes, like the first letter of each paragraph or something is going to be coordinates or something. So I definitely think they're going to find something in there, because there has to be more information, like for them to find it. But we know that like more crap goes down, because from the trailer, there's all those troopers are lined up, ready to go. They're being led by those assassin clones. And so there's a lot to happen. We're only 5 episodes in. There's 10 episodes left. So like there's a lot that's going to happen. We don't really know what's going to happen. We still got Asajj Ventress
and
to
they're
show
getting
up at
hunted too at this point.
Right.
So
like I don't know how Asajj Ventress is going to show up in this show yet, because she's supposed to be dead. And so I still think we're going to see Quinlan Voss.
I'm curious if that's like next week for sure, because there's 2 episodes Like it's very important for
Yeah,
them to like have them released
Back-
at the same time.
back to back. Yeah, so
What was the name of the next 2 episodes? Spoilers if you don't want to hear.
I'll
Pause
look
it
that
for
up right now.
fast
But
forward. We'll tell you when he's
but
ready.
I am excited for next week.
Yeah, next week 2 episodes will be good.
Let's see. Episode season 3.
All right, fast forward 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it.
First episode, infiltration. Second episode, extraction. So I feel like this is gonna be that from the trailer of them escaping on that big truck with the wheels on it.
Yes.
I think that's what they're gonna go in to infiltrate something, and then they're taking something out. So they're rescuing someone.
Potentially.
Like maybe it's more clones somewhere. Maybe Quinlan Voss got captured and they're rescuing Quinlan Voss. I don't know, but like from that trailer, Fee is there
Helping them, which
helping them.
she should be on the island.
Yep. Or at least she uses the island as a base, so like she'll be returning. Maybe they're helping something with her. Maybe it's her mission. Like she has intel on something. So, but I don't know. We'll have to find out next week. But we should mention that the last thing from this episode was that Crosshair talks to Hunter again and says, like, I made a lot of mistakes. I thought I was on board with the Empire, like, but I made a lot of mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And Hunter was like, no one knew what was going on. Like,
yeah,
the war suddenly ended. It became the Empire. Everything was changing, and, you know, no one knew what was going on. But he's like, I've made mistakes too, but the best thing we can do is try and be better every day. And so I think that that's a good last mending thing. So I think they're all on the same team now. Maybe there'd be some I could see there being a little bit more tension, but like nothing
too
substantial.
crazy.
And so
well, and it also seemed like even like what's his name?
Echo.
Yeah, I was gonna say Echo, and then I was hesitant for some reason. It even seemed like Echo wasn't like he was already fully on board with him. Like it wasn't like.
Well, he saw earlier when they like met up. He's like,
so he told you to figure it out.
He was something like, because he gave Omega a hug.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, no hug for me.
And he's like, well, let's see how good your intel is first.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. But yeah. So that's that. So I liked the episode. Drew, I was a little bored, but I like the character development and the deeper themes going on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for this breakdown, but everyone's favorite time of our episode is up next. So let's take a transition to voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right, cool. Well, we have one voicemail tonight. This is the third ever voicemail from this individual. Read from the Discord. So if you're from the Discord, you know Reed. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Reed and Bambino. So my question to you is that if you could take anyone from the Star Wars cast, past, present, dead or alive, actor, writer, director, whoever, you could take them to dinner, who would it be and where would you go?
All right, cool. And Bambino is the newly adopted dog that Reed has.
Oh, cool.
It's one of the coolest looking dogs you'll ever see in your life. It's like a straight black dog. And he just looks cool. He just looks...
Oh, well, cool.
He looks like a demon dog, but he's like the sweetest, nicest dog ever. So if you want to see cool pictures of a cool dog, join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
But yes, thank you, Reed, for the question. And question is, any Star Wars actor, director, writer, anyone basically involved with making Star Wars, if you could go out to take, though we're supposed to take it. They're not paying, so we have to pay for the thing. So we're taking this individual out for dinner, and where would we go, and who would we go with?
I don't know where I would go. Somewhere fancy that
You would spend a lot of money.
I would go all out, dude.
You could take him to Fogo de Chao or
Something.
like what's that?
No, probably like a
What-
5-star like
What's that steakhouse
5-course
in
meal.
downtown Minneapolis?
I don't know.
It's like Murray's or
Murray Steakhouse, yeah.
is that in downtown Minneapolis?
I think so. No, I would probably take them to like Union Monk Kitchen. It's like really high class, like Hmong food, but it's like really, really like a 5-star restaurant. But for like
Where's
Hmong
that
food.
at?
It's in Minneapolis. Like he started as like pop-ups, and like now he has his own place, or he's about to open his own place. I guess it's not even open yet. But I would probably take him there. And I would pick George Lucas.
George Lucas, huh?
Yeah, why not? The father.
I don't know.
Like I
feel
would
like-
want to interview him, talk.
See, like that would be cool, but I feel like I would have to do Dave Filoni just because he's
Dave
involved
Filoni's a
with
good one.
all the new stuff. Like,
True.
sure, they'd invite George back to like the Mandalorian set, and he's involved in like some stuff. But like,
Sure, we kind of know a lot about George. Dave
I
Filoni
wanna-
or John Favreau would be fun.
I think Dave Filoni just because like I want to like sit and like ask him questions about like, can you explain this scene, or can you explain like what happened here?
True.
Like, because obviously you couldn't ask him to tell us like what the future holds for Star Wars and stuff, but like,
How much would you prep for this dinner?
what do you mean? Like,
Like would you like go and rewatch a bunch of stuff and then like take notes and like
well, I would come up with a bunch of questions of
That's
like
what I
things
mean.
that I got to understand in Star Wars, but
what you would rewatch all the Rebel, like any cliffhanger, anything that did make sense.
yeah, I would have to like first I'd have to like ask the Discord, hey,
Yeah.
what things in Star Wars don't make sense? Like, what are open-ended questions
That Dave Filoni.
that he could answer?
I just want to ask George, like, how did you come up with like?
or what you
an
should ask
Ewok?
George, and he wouldn't be able to tell you. But what was his story for the sequel trilogy? Like we had like some like
Yeah.
rumored like
Mhm.
details of that, but nothing really concrete.
I feel like if I could get him drunk enough, he might tell me.
And you know the thing about George Lucas is like you don't have to take him out to a fancy place because do you ever see that picture of him? Like this is like a year after he sold Disney, and someone took a picture of him like at a food court in a mall, like eating like Taco
Yeah.
Bell or like Panda Express or something like that. Like you don't need to impress him; he's just a regular guy.
True. He's one of those billionaires that acts like
He's a regular guy.
he's Jeremiah if he was a billionaire. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Jeremiah's lifestyle would change a little bit, but not much.
Yeah, I'd build a house.
You'd
custom
build a house and have a couple
What-
dogs.
I'd get more than a couple dogs. I get a pack of Great Danes, one of each color, like 10 different Great Danes. I'd build us like a studio, so you, me, and Andrew can go full time doing a podcast.
Mhm.
Hire editors and stuff like that. I'd
And that's
probably have to.
Okay, Jeremiah's spending a lot of money.
Yeah, okay. You buy a house. That's like I'd have the house like a custom house built, so it would be like more expensive. But I was like, okay, people buy like a $300,000 house after 30 years with interest, are like spending like $600,000.
Mhm.
Like, okay, so I can just build a $600,000 house
Well, and the value of that house is only going to get more up anyway. So
Right. And so,
best investment.
yeah. And I like modern looking houses. So it'd be
Mhm.
a cool modern house. Or like a modern / like log cabin hybrid. So it kind of looks cool on the outside.
And the inside it's homey.
Yeah, like nice big open spaces.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about who we would take out to dinner. But yeah, George Lucas would be an easy person to impress.
Yeah,
But
it'd probably be either George or, like you said, Dave Filoni. Either way, if one of us is doing it, we're both going to be at that dinner anyway, so it's okay. You can take
Yep.
out Dave. That would be your choice. And I'm just so happy to walk into you guys. Oh, hello.
I don't know. Part of me wants to be like, but like, what if we were like, okay, forget like George and Dave Filoni, but like, what act? Because
Okay, so
we'd
pick
ask
an
specifically
actor.
also about like actresses. Like, who would? I don't know. I think Natalie Portman. You have to go with Natalie Portman. I'd take her out to dinner.
I'd be too nervous.
Natalie Portman, Hayden Christensen would be cool. I feel like Ewan McGregor, like
Ewan McGregor would be dope.
I don't know, dude. I see him
He's
in
a-
like
he's a
interviews
cool
and stuff,
guy.
like on talk shows. I'm like,
He's a fun guy. He would probably be like, "You want to go ride on my motorcycle?" And then me and
I
him
don't
just
know, like,
cruising.
I don't know.
I think Boba Fett would be cool.
You mean Tamora Morrison?
Yeah.
Not Boba Fett.
Tamora Morrison would be cool.
um,
The original actor for Maul would be cool.
Ray Park, that'd be cool.
Mhm.
Sam Witwer
Would be cool.
I was like, can you just talk as Maul like this whole like time?
Yeah, like answer all these questions.
he,
in
he
Maul's
orders
voice,
like
please.
he orders like a cheeseburger in his Maul
Maul's
voice.
voice.
That'd be kind of cool.
Ashley Eckstein would be fun, but I'd probably be like, you want to just go to the mall and like chill, and like we'll just go to like Hot Topic and sign autographs and just like walk around. Like I feel like that's what she would want to do.
Yeah,
She just want to go shopping.
but it's like I would like want to do something like who doesn't get a lot of like press. Like she's going to every single con, so she's always out and about.
Yeah.
Like you always know
Han
about her.
Solo,
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Actually, that would be cool.
No, he doesn't. He would be terrible
He'd be
because he
like,
doesn't care about Star
"Well,
Wars. He doesn't care at all.
Well, we don't have to
Star
talk about Star Wars. We just talk.
What I don't care about Harrison Ford at all. Plus, he's like 80 years old. Like,
yeah,
and he doesn't care about anything. Like, I don't know. Mark Hamill would be cool.
Mark Hamill would be fun. That'd be another guy that you'd just be like, let's go to like Valley Fair or something with Mark Hamill. Like, he'd be like a fun just hang around, troll people. You do pranks with with Mark Hamill.
I don't know,
But except I would actually want to be like, dude, can you just like order as the Joker?
or Firelord Ozai.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably a million people that we're forgetting, but yeah. Kathleen Kennedy.
No.
You would take her out just so you could yell at her.
That would
and I'd be like,
it'd be like
you.
The worst first date of all time.
I feel like there's been plenty of worse.
I don't
first
know,
dates for
bro.
people.
But for sure, in the middle of that, she's gonna throw some food at me. So I don't think.
Good.
You know what would be cool? The new Leia. That would be fun.
Oh, Vivian.
Yeah, that'd just be cool. Like,
yeah, she'd be cool to talk to. See what she's like.
She'd just be like a fun kid. Her and Miles would be like best friends.
Yep.
It'd be fun.
Yep. Yeah. But no one cares about little Luke, though. No one cares about that guy. I feel bad. Like, that kid's like Luke, and then, like, no one cares. And then...
I mean, he was supposed to come to, like, con in Minnesota, and then he, like, bailed.
Probably had to do his...
Probably had
fraction homework or something like
Yeah.
that. All right. That's that. Thank you, Reed, for that wonderful question. But if you want to know who Reed is and this dog Bambino, this cool dog,
That's
you
a
got to
cool
join the
name.
Discord. And if you want to join the Discord, click the link in the description, the links.co/Empire Radio, link spelled with 2 I's. There's a landing page for everything Empire Radio, and one of the links down there is the invite to the Discord. And so come on by. We just had someone yesterday, I think, that was been listening for 3 years and finally joined the Discord.
Wow.
So you just join. It'd be a lot of fun. More the merrier. Because like when there's new people in there, there's like a new like life. And so like if a lot of new people join, then there's a lot more hype going on. But like
And we know there's a lot of you guys that have been listening for a long time that haven't pushed the button.
Yeah, we know how many people listen. Like we look at the analytics and we know that there's only like I don't know, there's like 150 people in the Discord and only like 20 active people that are like always talking. So like we know there's plenty of people out there that could join and add some life and lively discussion. So there's all kinds of stuff in there to talk about, not just Star Wars. So go check it out. But if you also want to get connected with us other ways, same landing page. You can join us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch because right now we're live streaming. So like every podcast episode, we live stream. So if you want to join the chat and talk to us and fact check us, join us on Twitch when we record on Wednesday nights. There's our fan email if you want to send us an email and a link to send a voicemail too. So look, you can ask us whatever you want as long as it's family friendly, or you can just say something, a comment. You don't have to ask a question. You just say, hey, we love to listen. Or if you want to tell a random story, like, yeah, I was walking to school and I saw someone walk into a stop sign. And it was pretty funny. You could tell us that. We don't care. We just want family friendly voicemails. If you're international, we'd love to hear your accents and you saying, may the force be with you in your native tongue. Like, that would be cool.
That'd be cool too. We love that.
Yeah. And what else? Needlesslynerdy.com. We are part of an entertainment network called Needlessly Nerdy. So go check that out if you like other nerdy content, podcasts, articles, all that jazz. Go check that out. And I think that is everything.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, next week, like we said, there's going to be 2 episodes of Bad Batch, and we will be doing one long episode for that. So make sure you get those watched right away and then listen to our breakdown.
And like we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, go check out our YouTube exclusive of Avatar: The Last Airbender live action. It's on YouTube now. Go watch it. Especially if you guys enjoyed that show or didn't, and you guys want to know our opinion. That's where to go find it. So go over there and do that.
All right, cool. Anything else, Drew?
Nope.
All right. Well, you've been listening to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.